Alright guys, so today we're going to get into some pay-to-win PvP setups that you can use with the bot jungle surreal wetland nuance. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to get into some PvP lineups you can use with using PvP ants with the new jungle ants, or the new surreal botland ants that that came out. Before we get into that, you got to get into the usual. This video is sponsored by Aptoide. We're using my code AGNATE TA. You can get anywhere from 5 to 65% off all in-game purchases. Especially with this island, you're going to need it. This island is very expensive when it comes to fungi and stamina packs and everything else. It's quite ridiculous. But anyway, a full description on how to do so will be down in the description down below, as well as a link to my Discord and some other fun stuff. So again, that's using code AGNATA in Aptoide to be able to get 5 to 65% off all in-game purchases. Alright, so before we get fully started, I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to. We had basically conceded that we would not be able to get to tree. At this point, we were nowhere even close to this building at the time. And so we basically asked our enemies, leave us alone, let us get this, we'll concede the other victory. They decided to say, no, we're going to come into not only your home area, but try to go get that wonder too. So I said, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, then you're going to find out what Ash is about, and we're not going to stop. Well, they were all the way to this wonder, and then you can see where they are now. They're not going to be able to get to it. On top of that, they were extremely rude. Not all of them, but some of them were extremely rude and very cocky. And anybody that knows me knows I don't put up with that. Like sending me, the best one was sending me the middle finger and then blacklisting me right after. That was classy. And that was when I've never even talked to the person. But it is what it is. Alright, so let's get into why you guys are actually here for this video. That was the island update. Alright, let's get into it. So, honestly, with the introduction of the new season ants, you're kind of limited. Actually, a lot of it is free to play. There's a few variations. So we'll get into each one. Alright, so I don't have all of the ants, obviously. So we'll go into the ones that I can. We'll start with the shooters. So with the new ants, we'll start with shooter first. So shooters are honestly had the worst luck out of the new ants here, but we'll go into it anyway. So honestly, unless you combine Red Velvet and Sly Hunter, as far as being able to add in pay-to-win ants as far as the shooters, the only one that really comes out that's any good out of this one is the Red Velvet. And that being because of its ability to increase the damage of its squad. It also has, after releasing normal attack, more damage that's dealt. And it has the ability to damage 2 enemy squads and reduces skill damage by 10.5%, which is stackable. So that's all great, and it also grants some dodge. Now, to pair with that, you can run something, if you're trying to push out the most amount of damage, you run something like the Emerald Jewel and the Sar and Silver. Those will give you a good survivability for the front line, as well as being able to push out with more damage from the Saharan Silver. Now, I don't know, I honestly haven't really tested it that much between a startup red velvet and a black velvet, so I can't honestly tell you which one is better. I would want to say probably the black velvet, but that's just for my limited testing. Now with the next one, this is for the Guardians. I actually do agree with the recommendation that they have for this one, which is very rare, but that would be to run the Bison, which will give you when special attack damage is taken, there's 35% chance to trigger a counterattack, dealing of damage. Reduce damage taken by a squad by 8%, or 60% chance to reduce squad by 35%. And it helps one random friendly squad take 30% of skill damage the squad receives last 3 rounds. And then you got some extra health. There's some healing in there, but that's not important. And then the white crystal, that after the front line of Guardian squad deals damage 8 times, which with the Bison it would do really well. Squad deals more damage to all enemy squads and 50% chance to silence them. Then you have 75% chance to deal damage to enemy squad with the highest power and increase its own squad attack by 32% for 2 rounds, which is stackable. Which, if you get to be able to get it squared up with this one, that's a good little thing. Then more Guardian attack. Then damage to all enemy squads. And then with the Iron Elephant, if you have it, which I do not. Let me go find it real quick. With this one, so it damages your squad a little bit, but you do have some healing going on, deals damage. And then more damage to all enemy squads, plus chance to silence them. So then you have 2 answerable silence, more Guardian attack. And then it's able to give 25% more damage each time it receives a buff, such as healing, which your white crystal will be doing quite a bit of healing, or is a Bison, one of those. Anyway, it'll increase skill damage, skill reduction, and healing effect that increases. So that overall is a very good combo that they actually suggested in their lineup, and it's very good. And then you have with the carriers, honestly their suggested lineup that they give, which is the Rainbow Mimic Crawler and the CR, is actually probably about the best you're going to get. But if you're looking to use some of the pay to win, this is probably your best option. Okay, so of those, probably your best bet is if you can get the Rainbow Wings. That's a great one to have, because it gives you increased dodge and such, and healing effect, plus more healing. Grants a buff, triggers chance of all skills by 5%. More health, and then increases the health and defense of all our squads, and inflicts exhausted, which is good, and bleeding. So if you compare that and you run it with something like the CR, which is a high damage dealer for those that probably know it, and then if you happen to have the LB, which is the, I have it, hold on, the LB, this does well with when it has dodge active. It does really well with high damage. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit. Agnes out, and we'll see you in the next one.